All right, we started recording. All righty, guys. Hopefully you all can hear me. Good afternoon. My name is Tiffany. I'm one of the directors of PAS Lead, and this is our June 13th national meeting. First of all, we want to thank you guys for being here. It's a better weekend and weather than Memorial Day weekend, so we're grateful for you guys to be here today, to be here for our 1-year anniversary. But here's our agenda. We're going to do a year in review, which Liz is going to take you guys through a timeline of our first year as our group. We're going to talk about COVID-19 and racial inequity and injustices. We're going to give some policy and advocacy updates, and then we're going to open the floor to you guys to see what's been going on in your programs since the last time we met. And here we go. Like I said, we're officially one. We have taken our first baby steps, literally baby steps. If I could have, I would have put a little toddler walking around, but we are here and we've made it, and it's been a great year. And Liz is going to give you guys a little bit of an overview of our timeline as to what's been going on with us over the past year.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. So as we can all remember, seeing how we're still in the thick of it, in March of 2020, COVID-19 affected the world and shut down the world as well as PA programs. And we were either in the thick of it or we were getting ready to start our respective programs. Unfortunately, in May of 2020, George Floyd was murdered. And in the weeks following the murder, AAPA held town halls for faculty and students as a safe space to discuss racial injustice going on in various programs. After this, there were many students that got together from the town halls to come together in the weeks after the town halls to meet to create a student-run organization that was going to be run by PA students for PA students. In August of 2020, PAS Lead officially got its name. It was really important for us to have not only something that was easy to remember, but something that stood for something. A name that stood for something, I should say. So the name credit goes to one of our board of directors, Alexandria Ladia, and we came up with PAS Lead, Physician Assistant Students for Leadership, Equity, Anti-Racism, and Diversity. In September of 2020, we came together for our first national meeting that was just to kind of introduce the world to who we were as we officially had a name. By November of 2020, we had the tumultuous presidential election, and we also had our first PAC discussion panel that we want to give a special shout out to Datheon Sturgis, who is a faculty member of University of Washington MEDEX in Washington State, as well as Sato, who's a graduate of the Duke University program and is now a practicing PA in California. Fast forward to May 2021, the House of Delegates, of which two of our board of directors, Karina, who will speak in a little bit, as well as Kayla, who couldn't be here this evening, were part of the historical vote to change the PA title to Physician Associate. So it's really important for us to take a look back at our journey to see where we started so that we can look where we want to go, and that we hope that you all will continue to be part of the journey with us.
Thank you so much, Liz. That is a great overview of our first year. We appreciate you for doing that. And then, so now we're going to talk about COVID-19 and racial injustice. Sammy and Meg are going to be two PAS leaders who are going to talk in a little bit after we finish the whole presentation about their experience being PA students in Minneapolis, Minnesota during the protests in the wake of George Floyd's murder, and just how did they navigate being students while this was going on and the conversations they had with amongst their classmates. And we will talk about that at the end, so that, as Nate said in the beginning, we don't record their personal conversation with us. But we are very thankful for them to do that. They are like the first PAS leaders, students who are presenting during our national meeting. So we're kind of very excited that they're not board of directors. So we are very thankful for them to doing that. And we just want to give you guys some policy updates that you guys could use in your programs to maybe advocate for things, or when they come up, to learn more about. So the voter suppression laws that were passed, Georgia is an example of that, for example, they passed in February 2021 that you can't give voters in line water. You have to just have it be self-serve. People can't hand them water. People may say, oh, well, what's the difference? That is voter suppression because, okay, what happens if the water runs out, but I have to stand in line for 3 or 4 hours and wait? You know, another law that they passed was that government IDs were required, not just for in-person voting, but for absentee ballots as well. These are all ways that they are suppressing the vote in basically, I don't want to use the word retaliation, but almost in retaliation for what happened in Georgia during the presidential and the Senate races. And then let's talk about the AAPA resolution. We're now physician associates. That is our name. I'll go by PA. I'll just be like Prince and just be 2 letters that are together. But our name was changed. That was one of the huge resolutions that was passed during the HOD, and Karina can speak more to this if she wants, but it's a huge deal for the PA profession. It is going to take about, what I've heard, almost 5+ years to actually implement in terms of all the policy and legal changes that need to be made. But when people, as students, what we can do when people ask, well, why did our name change? Us advocating and explaining why we felt that our profession needed to change from assistant to associate, like that name change and what it could do for us is huge. These are all important things that we are very grateful that is happening. But what I really want to talk about is there were other resolutions passed during the HOD. One of them was that the AAPA can officially make statements against police brutality. Like they needed a resolution in order to actually say that, hey, we oppose this, which as someone who is, as a student who was never a part of any of those HOD meetings, I find that very like interesting. Like you needed a resolution in order to say that this was wrong, even though we all know it's wrong. So it was, this is kind of why it's important as students to kind of be involved in those things and really understand the workings of how this works. So if you ever have a chance to volunteer, I was lucky enough because I was a member of the AAPA, got to at least listen to some of their stuff. It's very interesting if you ever get a chance to put that on and take a look. And then the last thing, the anti-trans laws that have been passed recently, I am not an expert in this, but the LGBT PA caucus on Instagram has been doing a lot of advocating, talking about what these laws means for trans individuals. So I highly encourage, if you want to learn more, which we all should learn more about what this means, is really to take a look at them. And also there was a great discussion in the national chat on GroupMe as well about the anti-trans laws and what they mean. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Also, we'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any experiences that you've had in your programs or any ideas, we have a form that you guys can fill out and let us know about changes you want to see within your program. About changes you saw and you want to see in your program. Also, if you're interested in being a PAS leader, we have a job form for you to fill out and give us your info. You can be added to our listserv and our email. And we have a lot of directors who are graduating in July and August. If you are interested in becoming a PAS leader director, please, on our July 25th Board of Director meeting, we're having an open meeting to any leader who wants to come and just sit in and see what it's like to try and make decisions for PAS lead. I don't know if Nate, Karina, or Liz wants to jump in there and talk about that a little.
So yeah, I can talk about it because when I started as a director, things were a little different. We had different roles, and as time went on, we kind of revised all that, and now we all kind of share just the director position, and you use what your strengths and what you're good at to add to the PA's lead board of directors in ways that best fit you. So if you're really into, you know, graphic design or that kind of thing, you can help put together our logos or our advertisements, or help with presenting during the national meetings. So we'd really like to see some new faces and kind of have someone to pass this along to, people that are passionate and really want to make a difference in PA school academia and admissions and all of the things we're fighting against. So if you have any interest, please do come to that meeting. We're talking, we got some crazy stuff coming up. We're gonna have a big conference later in the year. And so we're gonna be discussing what's gonna happen with that and what groups we're going to work alongside. And so it'll be interesting. It'll be a good meeting to kind of take part in and see if it's something you're interested in following up with. I know that everybody's busy with school, but having some things like this to do on the side can be a nice break, as well as fighting towards a common goal. So we hope to see you there.
Alrighty, thank you, Nate. Check out our Instagram. Hopefully, we're trying to do a day in the life of a director. I was trying to have one today, but my old self and Reels just did not go together. So check out our Instagram later on in the upcoming weeks, and hopefully we'll have some Reels of just what a day in the life of a director is like, just besides doing PAS lead, so that you can see how it would fit into your life as well. And how can you reach us? We have a website, we have Insta, we're on Facebook, our Gmail is at the bottom, and we also have a Twitter. You can reach us on any one of these social medias. What is the handle for the IG? We'll put it in the chat. And then our next meeting will be September 13th. 2021. We'll provide a Zoom link as it gets closer. And just keep a lookout in the National GroupMe or any of our social medias for any info on those meetings. And thank you. What we're going to do is stop recording. And Sammy and Meg, the screen share should be on once I stop for you guys to take it on.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to throw it back to Karina, just because she was a part of all of the policy changes, and let her talk a little bit about her experience with it.
All right. Hold on. Well then, okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Karina. I'm a second year PA student at Sacred Heart in Connecticut. So I was a student delegate this year. We're going to actually have new student delegates coming in. Applications will be available in August. So I really encourage anyone who is passionate about policy change to consider doing it, even if you feel like, oh, I don't have any experience or anything like that. I didn't have any either. And it was a really good experience because you really get to learn all the policies that are going to be expiring and you think are important and need to stay in place, or there's things that you feel this is archaic and we need to get rid of this. So basically throughout the year, you're going to be reading all the resolutions that are in place and that are coming up to be at the conference. The main topic of discussion was the PA title change. So basically everybody knows what's going on. It's now physician associate. The AAPA board of directors has to deliberate during the next few steps about implementing the House of Delegate policy on this title change. The AAPA board of directors can't overturn. They can't say, you know what, we're not going to do this title change because it was already decided by the House of Delegates. And in terms of timeline, more research needs to be done, but I think Nathan commented on it. It does look like it's about a 5-year plus thing to go through. And it really depends on your state. If you have a state with less people who are advocating for these things, it could take you a lot longer. And also depends on money aspects. The estimated cost is $21.6 million. And also another important thing is AAPA's legal counsel recommends that all PAs refrain from representing themselves as physician associates at this time because it can cause legal misrepresentation, as there's no law currently in place for us to allow us to call ourselves that. So just stick to PA. Something I was really passionate about I worked on Reference Committee C, and we were in charge of listening to one of the most important to me personally resolutions which was the excessive use of force. So now the final wording is APA denounces the use of excessive force by all law enforcement agencies and police officials against all people of color and members of vulnerable populations. AAPA recognizes in an effort to achieve health equity, an imbalance in the use of force fueled by racial injustice and inequality must come to a halt, and it affirms commitment to maintaining and securing the safety and health of the public by advocating for effective community policing, robust training and education on de-escalation tactics, as well as the institution of accountability measures for all law enforcement agency and officials. And this was a really hot topic because there were surprisingly a lot of people against this. The main argument was like, well, we shouldn't just say all people of color, because then that takes away from a certain group, which is a white group. But the other side was saying, but this is not something that white people are experiencing at the extent of people of color and people who are vulnerable populations, which is like the homeless population. So it's just for us to show not only our patients that we care about this, but our colleagues. You know, we have colleagues who are PAs and they're of color, and we've all seen the video of the one doctor who died because they didn't take her pain as serious as they might have as someone else. And she was an educated person. So it was just really important for this to be passed. Also on the anti-trans bill, something I just wanted to talk about was March 29th of this year, Arkansas passed the first state in the US to pass a bill prohibiting providers from treating trans youth. So basically we could lose our license if we do anything with transgender minors for gender affirming treatments. And that doesn't mean just surgery, it just even puberty blockers, hormone therapies, any kind of trans treatments. So I definitely recommend following and becoming a member of the LBGT caucus. It's only $10 to be a member for the entire year. That really helps them create funds to do these advocacy works. And you can also just get a lot of other additional trainings and meet other people and just become a better overall provider, in my opinion. I know Victoria's here. She's a great person to reach out to. She's a fellow for the LBGTPA caucus. I don't know, Victoria, if you want to say anything. Sorry, I just kind of put you on the spot.
It's okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Victoria. I do work with Karina. I am this past year's LBGTPA Student Leader Fellow. Essentially, if you are interested in becoming as at least for the fellowship, you have to identify as part of the community. But again, if you don't, and if you just want to be an ally, the student membership is a great opportunity. You'll be able to work with not only the board members, but you get to work in different committees as well. So if you're interested in something such as like education or events or even social media, we're always looking for student members. We currently have about, I want to say 140 or 150 student members. So we're always looking to increase that as well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll leave my Instagram handle in the chat, so you're more than welcome to reach out and everything.
Thank you so much to Karina and to Victoria. Tiffany, if you're still there, do you mind pausing the recording now? And then I will turn it over to Sammy and Meg.